Editorial board member Matt Kaminski joins us now to talk about another story which is ongoing right now at this hour. Today's French debate between President Nicolas Sarkozy and his challenger, Socialist Party challenger, Francois Hollande. Matt, welcome.
Thank you.
Matt, there's a lot at stake right now for President Sarkozy, who lost the first round election and is now facing the second and final round on Sunday. Did Mr. Sarkozy gain ground tonight? How did he do? Or how is he doing?
Well, how's it doing? I mean, it's really hard to tell. It's been a very exciting debate. These French debates are always a lot of fun because it's really the one time. It's really a signature debate between the first, second round. It comes always 4 days before the Sunday vote. There's two moderators, but basically it's a running argument back and forth. From what I could see so far, I think Hollande basically needed not to make any mistakes. And I think he hasn't made any mistakes. He's been combative with Sarkozy. Sarkozy's a very good debater, a very good campaigner, and he kind of steamrolled the socialist candidate 5 years ago, Ségolène Royal. Hollande's been standing his ground. And I think Sarkozy started off by arguing on the economy, but now it's devolved into the argument over immigration and Muslims in France.
And Matt, are these the issues that really matter to the French people? Immigration, does that really sell? Or is it really the economy that the voters are going to focus on?
They spent the first hour on the economy, and there was a sort of fascinating exchange about basically who was the more German of the two Frenchmen, which certainly you've never seen before. I think Sarkozy sort of started making an argument, which I think he should have made from the beginning, that he's saying, look, it's been a tough time in the world. I've been a good leader, not a perfect leader. You can trust me. Why take a risk with this guy who's never served in government, is an unknown, plus comes from a party with all these kind of wacky ideas about tax, hiking taxes on the rich to 75%. But the problem is that he's run the campaign much more on the other thing, on immigration. I think he thinks that the only way he can pull this off, and remember, he's down about 8 points in the polls right now, by appealing to the people who voted for Marine Le Pen, kind of a far-right candidate, anti-immigration, anti-Muslim, and he is. When I left them, they were talking about separating public pools between men and women, and whether Muslims should be allowed to vote in France because, as Sarkozy said, they have a different culture, and I'm not sure that really will help him attract the centrist voters that he needs to win this possibly.
Well, let's talk about Monsieur Hollande for a brief moment. Is he seen as somebody decisive? Was he seen as somebody decisive prior to this debate? How was he known in France, and how has he managed to reshape his image, particularly tonight in this debate?
Well, he was always in France. He's got a sort of an unfortunate nickname called flamby, which is this kind of jello-y dessert. And he lost a lot of weight for the election, so he doesn't look as flamby-like as he did before. But he's not seen as someone very decisive and strong. And I think this is why he's come out here and been quite combative against Sarkozy, who's really a kind of pit bull type of fighter. But I think Hollande has run a safe campaign in the sense that Sarkozy's really done this to himself. He's alienated the French electorate, which is not what you want to do if you function in a democratic system. And Hollande has to sort of seen as being a kind of safer, more congenial choice. And in that sense, assuming the polls turn out to be true, he's succeeded.
We're talking to Matt Kaminski of the Wall Street Journal editorial board on the French debate that's ongoing right now. Matt, let's assume that Monsieur Hollande comes out of this debate right now, does very well on Sunday, wins. Can France afford his presidency?
Not if he ends up trying to implement the things that he's promised to try and implement. I mean, the markets won't be happy, and I think we might have a replay of last time you had a socialist in power, which was Francois Mitterrand in 1981. He came into power, he nationalized the banks, the markets tanked. 2 years later, he completely reversed course. I think if Hollande tries to do what he says he wants to do, you may see a repeat of something similar. This will be too costly and too dangerous for France. It doesn't mean it won't happen. It doesn't mean that he won't try. There's a lot of, the French Socialist Party is actually one of the least, lack of a better word, reformed left, sort of center-left parties in Europe.
Wow. Well, we'll leave it on that downbeat note. Matt Kaminski, Wall Street Journal editorial board. Thank you so much for being.